Good evening, everyone. We have with us MS Dhoni, Indian captain. Before we start this press conference, I would request all of you to check your phones once. It should be on silent and discreet mode. Tomorrow, Indian team is traveling to Calcutta, so there will be no media activity and no practice session. Please raise your hands, identify yourself, and one question at a time. I'll start with Sami.
Disappointing result, how difficult it would be for you to regroup the boys ahead of marquee clash against Pakistan and going ahead in the tournament?
I think that's what my job is. If it doesn't go the way we want it to go, that's a time when everybody needs to pitch in. But I don't think it will be a big factor. The reason being, what I always tell the boys is, you have to see what kind of cricket you are playing, what's the mistake that you have committed in the game, rather than thinking as to, oh, we only scored 80 runs or 90 runs. What's important is how to turn around and how to come back strong. And I feel this team has done it plenty of times, right from the last World Cup that we played. It's something that the team has shown, this character of coming back after you can say a bad defeat. But that's what it is all about. So I don't think I'll have to work too hard.
MS, do you think? Do you think the spinners bowled better than us, or was it another bad day for the batsmen? What exactly you assess it?
I think the dismissals, our batsmen, there are quite a few soft dismissal, and if you see the way, there was no partnership at all. What's needed is when you're scoring 120 or 125 runs, chasing. We all knew the wicket was slightly on the slower side, but the good thing is we still restricted them to a good score. I think 140 would have been a par score on a wicket like this. So I feel the bowlers did a good job by restricting them to 126. I felt it was a batting department, which could have done slightly more. We kept, I think every alternate over we lost one wicket, and it becomes more and more difficult. Once the top order gets out, the batsman who comes in, let's talk about the 5, 6 or 7, they have that pressure of one extra wicket falling. So, it seems as if the cricket becomes very difficult. But what's important is at that time to get some kind of a partnership going, even if it's not big when it comes to the number of runs scored. But it just gives that calmness to the dressing room and the batsman who's coming afterwards. So I feel it was to some extent lack of application. Few good deliveries, but it was more, I think, the soft dismissals than the good deliveries.
MS, you spoke
I thought they bowled well, but I'm not saying they bowled or our spinners didn't bowl well, because bulk of bowling was also done by the spinners from our side.
You spoke of the lack of partnerships. Is there a particular reason why our Indian batsmen sometimes struggle against a turning ball on pitches like this? We've seen it before in a couple of test matches as well. Could you pinpoint some reasons why that happened?
No, if you see on a turning wicket, it's a challenge. And, when I was playing test cricket, a lot of times, people used to question turning wickets. And I always said, it is actually more difficult to score runs on turning wicket compared to the seaming track. Because at some point of time, the seaming track, actually becomes flat before it starts to turn. So I feel, this is also a challenge in itself. And I feel, it's as sporting as some of the other wickets. It's just that, often people talk about spinning wicket as not sporting wicket. It's only the seaming wicket that are sporting. Maybe what hits in the head is only a sporting wicket. But to pinpoint a reason, it can happen. We have seen, though we have won a lot of test matches, but there were quite a few good innings that were scored. Two batsmen really scoring big, because of which the opposition were put under pressure. So you have to, the error part, you can commit an error and you can get out very soon on a turning wicket. So you have to be careful, you have to adapt. But I felt, this day was more about adaptability than, looking to hit big.
MS, talking in general, do you see, is this a concern that, we are failing against spin bowling too often? Is this, talking in general, from the past experiences as well, do you think we are a bit, lacking in terms of tackling spin bowling as efficiently as we used to do it earlier?
Well, you have to see the stats, and I would say the first initial years of Test cricket that I played on Test wickets, that didn't turn at all. And even when Muralidharan was bowling on that kind of wicket, people were scoring runs. So what's important is not to just look at stats saying, okay, this guy was bowling, who is a spinner, and this guy was batting, he scores 100. What's important is what kind of a purchase the bowler is getting, how difficult it is for the batsman to score runs, whether there is pace on offer or not. So these are the real stats that we need to study. At times in India, we say, okay, India is a is a heaven where people come and they score the big hundreds. But if you see lately the kind of wickets we have played, you will see somebody scoring a 40, 45 or a 50 is actually more than 150 on a good wicket. So I feel that's where you have to see as to whether the spinners were bowling well. There was enough for the spinners, and then the batsman scores run, then it is good batting. So I feel off late, we have been playing on wickets that are very tough, but that's what Test cricket is all about. It's amazing how we are talking about more Test cricket.
I'll take last two questions in English before we take last two questions in Hindi. I'll not take any more questions in English. Chetan and Jaspreet.
Mahi, in the Asia Cup, you said that in the initial part of the Asia Cup, you said that which pitches were a bit too green and you were not satisfied in terms of preparation for the World T20. Are you satisfied with tonight's pitch?
Well, as I said, it was a 140 wicket, and there have been quite a few games. It's difficult to get a benchmark when it comes to India. The only benchmark is you again try to fall back to IPL. We have seen wickets where they spin and turn on offer, and still the batsmen, they score 140 runs, which looks like a very good score. And I feel this wicket was also like a 140 wicket. 126, I felt the bowlers did a decent job to contain them to 126. Yes, it has big outfield, the ball was turning, but if you have some kind of a partnership going, what you can do is you can push in the middle, you can look for twos, and in between play the big shot. But if you keep losing wicket, it becomes more and more difficult to rotate easily on a wicket like this. So I felt it was the partnership, that was problem.
Last question in English, Jaspreet.
Hi, MS. Do you think the Kiwis, they read the pitch better than India because they played their three spinners, resting their two key bowlers, Trent Bolt and Tim Southee? And do you think that we could have played Negi or a Harbhajan instead of Pandyas just to...
Well, again, if you see, UV didn't bowl a single over. What also you have to see is what kind of a batsman is batting like. If you compare the two innings, when we had overs of the left arm spin, there were two left-handers who were batting at that point of time. So that makes it slightly difficult for the captain. You want to use the away-going spinner, and I feel with Hardik being there, if the need arises of if you need a seamer, you can obviously use him. If you need a spinner, you already have somebody like a Suresh Raina or a Yuvraj Singh, and we didn't bowl a single over because I felt he was not needed, or maybe the situation didn't permit me to use him with two left-handers batting at that point of time. In fact, there was a situation in the middle where I said maybe I won't use Jadeja's 2 over also because with Anderson batting with the other left-hander, he was looking for the big shots. I said maybe fast bowler is a better option at that point of time.
Last two questions in Hindi. Apart from Sunandan, anyone wants to ask a question? I'll start with Sunandan.
माही, कैसा खेल है ये क्रिकेट? कल तक फेवरेट बोला जाता है, आज फट करके फेवरेट का टैग निकल जाता है. क्या ये वेकअप कॉल अच्छा रहेगा?
वेल डेफिनेटली अच्छा रहेगा, क्योंकि मैंने हमेशा से ये बात बोली है कि किसी भी चीज़ को फॉर ग्रांटेड लेना काफ़ी डिफ़िकल्ट हो जाता है. एंड इट्स गुड फॉर एवरीबडी, इट्स गुड फॉर द फैंस, इट्स गुड फॉर द इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम, क्योंकि हम भी रियलाइज़ करेंगे कि हमें किस तरीके से बैटिंग करनी होगी, क्योंकि विकेट्स हर जगह डिफरेंट होंगे. अभी हम कोलकाता जाएंगे तो वहाँ का विकेट थोड़ा डिफरेंट होगा, उसके बाद जहाँ पे खेलेंगे वहाँ का विकेट. सो यू हैव टू असेस, यू हैव टू अडैप्ट, एंड हाउ क्विकली यू रीड द विकेट, वही सारी चीज़ें इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाएंगे. सो आई फील इट्स अ गुड वन फॉर अस. होपफुली जितना मार्जिन ऑफ डिफीट जितना छोटा होता उतना हमारे लिए अच्छा होता, क्योंकि आई थिंक एक T20 वर्ल्ड कप में ऐसा हुआ था कि हम एक मैच हारे थे और टूर्नामेंट में आगे क्वालिफाई नहीं किए थे. सो आई फील इम्पॉर्टेंट रहेगा कि आने वाले मैच जो हम खेलेंगे उसमें जीतना तो ऑफकोर्स ज़रूरी है, बट किस तरीके और किस मार्जिन से हम जीत रहे हैं वो भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंस रखेगा.
मैं अभी पाकिस्तान मैच तो आप लोगों का डू और डाई हो गया, तो और भी प्रेशर आ गया, तो हैंडल कैसे करेंगे?
नहीं, हमने तो कभी बोला नहीं कि प्रेशर है, बट ऐसा कोई मैच हमने खेला
पाकिस्तान
नहीं.
मैच तो डू और डाई सिचुएशन में चला गया अभी.
नहीं, उसके बाद भी जो 2 मैच है वो भी डू एंड डाई मैच है, क्योंकि वंस यू लूज़ द फर्स्ट गेम उसके बाद सारे डू एंड डाई सिचुएशन हो जाते हैं, क्योंकि यू कांट अफोर्ड टू लूज़ एनी मोर. एक आध गेम भी अगर आप गलती से भी हारेंगे तो आप टूर्नामेंट से बाहर हो जाएंगे. सो होपफुली इट विल ब्रिंग द बेस्ट आउट ऑफ अस. ऐसे सिचुएशन में हम पहले भी रह चुके हैं. एंड जहाँ तक प्रेशर की बात की जाए तो मैंने तो अभी तक मैच खेला नहीं है. यही मैं प्री मैच में भी बोल रहा था जब टॉस हो रहा था कि कोई ऐसा मैच आज तक हुआ नहीं है जिसमें हमारे ऊपर प्रेशर नहीं रहता है. सो इट्स पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ इंडियन क्रिकेट एंड विल कोप वेल.
Thank you.
Hello.
Camera's good. Yep. All right, guys, just same again. Raise your hand. I'll pass the microphone around. Questions. Good to finish.
Hi, Satnav. Great bowling. My first question, the next victory does hold you in good stead now. And during your pre-tournament, you told me that Kohli will be your first, you want Kohli to be your wicket. But today, Sodhi took Kohli's wicket. So,
yeah, I mean, Kohli's a world-class player in his own conditions and all over the world, but didn't bowl too much to Kohli. But any Indian wicket over here is a good wicket, and lucky enough we got all of them tonight.
Can you talk us through the team selection? What was the, I mean, obviously the pitch was, you play according to the pitch, but was it a bit of a gamble, leaving out the pace bowlers and going with a prominent spin attack?
I guess looking at the pitch, we knew it'd probably do a little bit of spin there, so I guess that was up to the selectors, but they thought they'd go in with another spinner, and it paid off tonight. I mean, there was a lot of purchase out there, and watching Jadeja bowl and Ashwin, and there's a bit of purchase, so I think we were lucky to have three right spinners there and managed to do the job today.
Down the front.
How much of a confidence booster is this for the New Zealand team? The favorites, India was one of the favorites, and beat them so comprehensive. How much of a confidence booster is this?
Yeah, I mean, every time you beat India at home is a tough effort, and I mean, we managed to do that today, and like you said, it's going to be a bit of a confidence booster, but there's a lot of positives to take out of this game, but there's also, I mean, a couple of work-ons, so we'll just take it game by game. We've got a tough pool, and we're just trying to move on now and focus for the next game.
Hi, great bowling there. And just sitting in the change room, can you just talk us through those first 9 balls? It looked cricket on steroids actually, and dare I say, it looked a bit like watching Brendan McCullum on autopilot. So can you just talk a bit about those 9 balls in New Zealand's first innings and what the game plan was?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the wicket, we knew there was a bit of spin there, so, but it was obviously the aggressive nature of Guppy and stuff that got us off to, I mean, trying to get us to a flyer. But we knew it was going to be a tough battle. We thought maybe 140 might have been a good score on that wicket. But it definitely started spinning a lot more later on, and we knew probably the first 6 was probably the crucial overs where the ball was coming on a little bit. So, I mean, if we got off to a good start, that would have been handy. But I mean, at the turn, we were reasonably happy with 120. It was a niggly score to chase, so we just had to stick to our plans and go from there.
Yeah, given the success you had against on a turning track with the Aussies coming up, would you like to see a similar kind of pitch against Australia, given they're vulnerable to spin bowling?
I guess everywhere you go is going to be different in India. I mean, starting at Mumbai was a bit, but they're more for the seamers, and obviously today it spun a bit. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what the pitches produce. I mean, for me, I'd like a bit of a spinning pitch, but yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Mitchell, you said the look of the pitch told you guys you should play an extra spinner, but I mean you'd expect a visiting team to play 2 spinners. What was it about the way the pitch looked that prompted you guys to go with 3 spinners?
I guess the surface at Nagpur does spin a lot, but yeah, I guess it was up to the selectors' decision to go with another spinner, and we knew that we'd have to probably bowl in the first 6 if we played 3 spinners like Ashwin did. But yeah, I mean, Nath and Ish bowled well tonight. I mean, when a spinning side, when your spinners take 9 wickets on a obviously a spinning track's not a bad effort.
Yeah, hi, Mitchell. Before the match, your skipper said that you had good preparation coming into this tournament because of preparing yourself in the UAEs in the similar conditions, despite coming off a test series. So how much did that preparation help you coming here, and did it change anything seeing this track here in Jamta?
Yeah, I mean, we had a good few days there in Dubai. The pitches were obviously a little bit low and slow and showed a bit of turn, so we thought that might be similar to over here. And obviously today, it definitely was a bit low and slow and took some turn. It spun a little bit in Mumbai, and we're happy the way I guess we're going in those couple of warm-up games, and we got, I guess, good stuff out of them. But today was just a new game. We had obviously trying to beat India at home's a tough ask, and they're a quality side, so lucky enough to get that done today.
Last one.
Congratulations. Has the emphatic nature of the win taken you by surprise? You means the team.
We knew it was going to be a hard-fought game. I mean, the score might show it was a little bit not like that, but it definitely was. I mean, we had to fight to get to 120. The Indians bowled well. All their bowlers chipped in and bowled well at times, and we thought that was maybe a little bit below par. So, but then we came out. I guess we stuck to our plans really well and managed to keep getting wickets at crucial times. And but it was definitely a bit hard fought than it looked.
Cool. Thanks, guys.